Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Today I am reviewing a really good handheld flashlight. And the reason for that is twofold. For one, I've been trying to be more selective about the products that I agree to review on the channel. As I've gotten more subscribers, more companies reach out to me, and some of the stuff is absolute garbage. And I don't really want to do videos on stuff that I don't like if I can help it. Now, if I do a review on something and it turns out to be bad, I'm going to let you guys know, obviously. You've seen that with like this 1911 with some other things. But these guys, they sent me this light, which is the Brinyte XP22 Scorpion. And I did a review on this last summer. And I was still running on my AR9 build, which means that I must like it relatively decently. There is quite a bit of like carbon buildup on the lenses right now. It is definitely an unusual weapon light, but it works well for my AR9, and I'm pretty happy with it. So when the same company reached out to me with a handheld light, I already knew that their products were decent. I've put tons of rounds through this gun with this light on it, and it still works great. But the other reason was literally the night before I got the email about this. My daughter had been outside in the backyard, and we heard what sounded to us like gunshots. She came running inside, and I did maybe not the smartest thing tactically, but as we heard 4 separate shots at 4 separate times over a relatively short period of time. And I decided that I should go find out what the heck is going on in my neighborhood. We don't normally get gunshots where I live, although recently we have had 2 shootings here, one of them fatal, which is actually somebody I knew personally. So it has just renewed my choice to carry concealed every day, as I did anyway, but just made it all that more obvious why we do that. But what happened is, I had grabbed this pistol. This is the one that I am the most confident with, that I feel like I shoot the best. It's got a really good light on it. It's got an optic, 20 round capacity. It's reliable. It's accurate. And so it's a great home defense gun. Well, I wanted to go check out what was going on in the neighborhood. Whether that was a good idea or not, you can debate it in the comments. But I couldn't walk around holding this big ass gun. If it was gunshots and the police showed up, well, who would be the first person they would think would be the culprit if I'm walking around the neighborhood with a big ass gun? So, my concealed carry pistol, SIG PT16. I carry it in, a couple different holsters, but I don't have a light on it at this point. And it was nighttime, it was dark, and I needed to be able to see what was going on. And so I grabbed a handheld light, but the handheld lights that I own kind of suck. These guys reached out to me the next day, sent me this, and this light solves that issue. I'm going to show you guys why. This is the Brinyte PT16 compact tactical handheld flashlight. Now, they do make accessories where you could mount this on a rifle if you wanted to, but I'm going to use it as a handheld light for the reasons that I mentioned in the intro. I think that having a handheld light is also very smart. Obviously, I do believe in weapon-mounted lights on my handguns, as well as rifle platforms. And I've been looking at lights right now, high-end lights, Cloud Defensive, Mod Light, Surefire. I'm trying to figure out what light setup I want to use on my current dream rifle build. Hopefully you guys have been following along on that build series. But really good, expensive tactical flashlights are not cheap. $400 to $600 to put together a good light setup for your rifle. Well, this has very impressive feature set and stats. For the price, it's really impressive. So I figured it was worth a video. let's go up close. We're gonna do like an unboxing. I'll show you guys the features, and then we're gonna turn off the lights, and I'll show you how powerful this light is, because it is insanely powerful. So this is the packaging you receive when you get the light. I have opened this before already, but here's the light itself. It comes with a lanyard, and then it comes also with a charger. It's a rechargeable battery, and some extra O-rings because it is waterproof. Now, if you check out the light, it's relatively big. So it does have a pocket clip here, although I'm not sure that I would EDC this just due to the size of it. It's definitely smaller than like my EDC pistol, but when you're already carrying a pistol, everything else, I think I'm gonna use this as like a home defense handheld flashlight, kind of like what I'd talked about in the intro. Now, it has some features that I really like. Again, I do like that pocket clip. Pocket knives that I carry, I make sure they always have that clip for my pocket. It really helps. Check this thing out though. So it's got multiple switches, and you can see that light on there. So it actually senses when it's in kind of dim light, and that's on so that if you have to reach for it in the dark in the middle of the night, you can find the switch on it. But there are multiple switches. And this is one thing that I really like. So I have some other lights that I've kind of used as my home defense lights, and I kind of found out that they were lacking in major ways. Specifically that night that I talked about in the intro, but then also after I got this and realized some things. So most of the other lights that I have one clicky tail cap, and you usually have to click through the different brightness settings or strobe settings. Well, this one has multiple buttons. So if you do want strobe, it is this button, and it just automatically goes to strobe mode, which is good because you won't accidentally put it in strobe mode using your regular button, which is good because I hate when I accidentally put my light in strobe mode. So you can use this button for either momentary or click for constant on, and then you use this button can change your different modes. So you have low, medium, high, and like turbo high. And this is blinding. In fact, I'm sure the camera doesn't do it justice, but just the reflection off my hand right there literally blinds me. It is that powerful. And so you've got this, you've got your modes. This light lets you know where your light is when you need it. It's got your strobe mode button, which I don't see myself using much, but if you needed to like blind somebody to disorient them or something, you've got your strobe mode right there. Let's talk a little bit about the features and the stats of this thing because it's very impressive. So it's a 2000 lumen light. That's a lot of lumens. Candela, for those of you that want to know that, 92,500 candela. Now, candela is going to be your throw. And so they claim that will reach up to 600 plus meters. Up to over 600 meters, they say that this will light up. And I haven't tested it out to that far, but I tend to believe it just because it's ridiculously powerful. It comes with a single 21700 lithium ion rechargeable battery with a USB Type-C charger here. So it's a rechargeable battery. You don't have to be buying batteries all the time. Very standard charger. You can plug it into all your other chargers that you have at home, which is pretty sweet. When it's charged, this light, depending on the color of it, will let you know how much battery power you have. So 70 to 100%, it'll be green for 5 seconds when you turn it on. 30 to 70%, it'll be orange, and 10 to 30%, it'll be red. When the battery is below 10%, the red light will blink. So you can have a pretty good idea of where you're at as far as your, battery charge goes. Unfortunately, I'm colorblind, so that makes things a little hard for me. But it's still good to know for most people, and you'll know when to charge it. And it feels pretty dang good in your hand. Yeah, it's a very solid light. I'm actually really impressed with it. I'm going to go up top now and show you guys just what the light output from this thing looks like because it's insane. So let's check out the output on this thing. And in fact, I'm going to compare it to one of my Streamlight TLR1 HL pistol mounted lights, because I've always been very impressed with the output on these lights. I have cleaned this pistol recently, and I cleaned the bezel as well, so it should be putting out full power brightness. So we're going to compare them and just see how powerful this thing really is. So I've turned off the actual lighting that I use to film. We're going to turn off the overhead lights in the studio here, and this should give you guys a pretty good idea of how powerful this light actually is. So that is your high mode. Why can't I figure out? There we go. Low, medium, high, and super duper turbo mode. Now check this out. So that you can see the Brinyte that we're doing the review on. Here is a Streamlight TLR1 HL. Again, this for comparison's sake, it is a very, very impressive light. So there you guys see why I'm so impressed with this thing. I try not to review things that are garbage, and I do not believe that this is. This light is very, very powerful. It's got all these different modes, which are actually good when you have a light with so much lumens and candela. Some of those lower modes might actually be relatively useful. I've got other lights that the highest mode is like the lowest mode on this. So do I ever use any of the lower modes on them? Absolutely not. I want as much light as I can get. With something like this, there might be situations where you don't want it quite that bright. Also, obviously, your battery life is going to be longer, you know, if you're using it on like a low or a medium setting versus the high or the super turbo Batman bat signal mode. So, can I recommend the Brinyte PT16 tactical handheld super duper turbo flashlight? Yeah, I think so. This light is, like I said, very impressive, especially for the price. Like I said, I've been doing research on the lighting system for my newest rifle build, and it's going to be a $400 or $500 light. This is not $400 or $500. Now, it doesn't have the name recognition of like Mod Light or Cloud Defensive, Surefire, or something like that, but it's got the power, it's got the candela, it's got the lumens, it's got all the different modes, it's got all the features that you want in a handheld light. And like I said, I've been running one of their other lights for over a year on my AR9. 9mm ARs are known to have pretty brutal recoil impulse because of the direct blowback design. And this thing has kept running perfectly fine the entire time. I wouldn't have kept it on this gun if I thought it was garbage. So I think that I can definitely recommend this safely. If it does have any issues, I'll do a follow-up video. But so far, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm going to put a link down below in the description. You guys can find this on Amazon. That is an affiliate link. So it does give Sawtooth Tactical a little bit of a kickback, which is greatly appreciated. If you don't want to do that, just hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, even leaving me a comment, all those things really help with the algorithm. Just interacting with my channel or my video in any way really helps me and is greatly appreciated. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is December 1st. And I'm about 8,200 as of the time of filming this video. Got about a month and a half left. Help me out. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.